Hi everybody, my name is Lene Gehrig and I'm here today with my cameraman Houston, and we're here to welcome you to Paper Wishes weekly webisode. And this week we're featuring stamps and cutting dies from Creative Expressions. These are by Sue Wilson and they all coordinate together. They're beautiful and we can't wait to show you what we have, so come play with us. Hi everyone, so today I have this beautiful card that our friend Debbie made, and let me show you the elements that she used with this. She used the Lottie Sunflower stamp, which is just a really beautiful cling rubber stamp. And actually Houston asked me a really good question. He's like, do you use this cling stamp with a stamping platform or can you use it with a regular acrylic block? And I thought that was a great question. You can use this with either. Stamping platforms, as you will recall, allow you to repeatedly stamp without having to reposition. So in case you sort of mess up and you didn't ink enough on one side of your stamp, you can bring the platform down and continually stamp it after you've inked it. So I'm a big fan of stamping platforms. But you can also just use probably a large size acrylic block on this because they are, a larger stamp. So good question, Houston. So Debbie used this sunflower stamp, and she also used the Lottie Frames and Tags stamps. This particular one is not the frames and tags. It's I'm not sure why they call it frames and tags. Maybe it's part of a larger collection. But this one is sort of just this beautiful burst. So let me show you how this works. She used these two pieces together to get this background piece. And then she stamped this stamp and then used the outer die cut to cut that image out. Okay? As we were making these cards, Debbie had started before I had, and I said, Debbie, the outer ring cuts out the stamp. And she said, yes, it does. And I felt so silly because it was, I guess, a very obvious thing to know. But I wanted to pass that on to you in case you didn't know that. So this outer ring cuts out the stamped image as well. So very clever. Then Debbie also used, this is the jellyfish sparklets to add a little embellishment here. And she also used La Plume pens to do her coloring. So I thought that was really, really beautiful. So let me show you the next one. Debbie also did. So here is a beautiful card that Debbie made. It's using a center step card. So it's got lots of nice dimension there when it's sitting up. Let me show you how she made this. So the first thing, Debbie took this piece from the Claire cutting die set, and she cut red, like a mat from red paper, and then she actually glued this to the, glued the mat to the center step card, and then she put, so once that's glued on, then she took this circle and put it on the center, ran this through, laid it flat, ran it through the die cutting machine so that she could make a window, okay? Then she stamped this particular stamp, which is the Fragrant Vine Wreath stamp, okay? She stamped that twice. The first one she colored completely and then used either an X-Acto knife or some little bitty scissors and cut out the inside portion of it to make a window. And then on the second stamped image, she colored just the flowers, cut those out, and then foam taped those to the image. Foam taped this entire image over this red mat so that her window appeared, okay? So it looks much more intricate than it is, all right? So let me show you also these wonderful self-molding die cut pads that Debbie and I are thrilled to death with. We wanted to share these with you. They come in a pack of 2, and they look like this when you first get them. There'd be 2 of something this thick, and it's almost like super thick quilting batting, but it's not. It's special, and what it does is you put it so that your die, when you're running it through your die cutting machine, and it could be either like a Big Shot or it could be an electronic cutting machine, and you just put your cutting die face down and then your paper, okay, like that, and then you just run it through the machine, and then what it does is it compresses. So after it runs through one time, it compresses like that, okay? And what it does is it it's like shimming, the most beautiful shimming for your die cut, your cutting dies that you would ever need. And if you have elements like these little dots or elements that are embossed on your cutting dies, it embosses beautifully. The more you use it, the thinner it's going to get. Okay, this one is just multiple uses, and it still does a beautiful job. I can't really even explain how it does what it does, but it does a beautiful job of shimming your dies and also embossing the cutting dies that have that embossing feature on them. So I would really recommend you picking up the self-molding die cutting pads from Paper Wishes. They're just a really great find. This is one that I did, and I used the same cutting die. Okay, so this is the Claire cutting die, and then I used the Sweet Garden Vine. This was my centerpiece right here. So let me show you what I did on the back here. I used the negative image of the dies. Okay, that's something I've been noticing a lot in the card making world, people using the negative images, which I think is great. So to do that, what I did is I went ahead and I die cut without using this outer ring. Okay, I put this piece here, and then I put the center piece, whoops, here. All right, and then I ran that through my machine. What I'm leaving out is these outer rings. If I added those on, I would get a complete die cut image that would be evacuated from this paper, but instead I'm leaving those on so that when I take this away, I'm getting this negative image. Okay, so I did that twice on this card, here and here, and then I backed it with white cardstock, and then I stamped the Sweet Garden Vine image on white cardstock and used this the edge die cut, and went around it and cut it out, colored it with Spectrum Noir pens, stamped it with a greeting, and then foam taped it to the center. And then the rest of this includes the fancy border dazzles. I just put one of those along the bottom edge. So this card looks really complex, was very easy to do. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, here, this card, I am using this, I'm not using the stamp, but I am using the Claire cutting dies again. So let me show you how I did this one. For this one, I took this outer die cut with the little perforated holes, and I did a whole piece from black cardstock. And then this piece right here, I actually have the example here. So that's the finished piece, okay? So I did this here, all right? Then for the next piece, which is this one, I went ahead and I did this piece and this piece to cut it out. Oops, line those up. Okay, so that it's now layered. Okay, like that. Now I still have to get this last piece right here from black cardstock, and what I did with that is this piece and the ring around it. Okay, so that's what I did there, just 3 pieces layered. Okay, very easy to do. And then this, of course, is a script die cut greeting from hot off the press. Really easy card, and I love that black and white color scheme. It's really pretty. All right, now finally, the last card. This one features the Lottie cutting die. Let me show you all the goodies here. So to do this one, I first covered a square, a 5-inch square card. I placed some paper on the to be nested on the inside, glued that down. Then took my cutting die, put it here, ran it through the die cutting machine when it's open, okay, so that it removed the center. And then I made another from green paper, did the background green using this cutting die, and then did a white piece, okay, using this one, okay, and this one again, so that it was an actual cutout piece. Glued it over the top of the green. And then finally this little round circle For that one, I just borrowed the center from the Claire cutting die set, cut a circle out, and then just put one of these adorable little mini greetings, thinking of you, also from Creative Expressions, put that in the center. And then it's just a cute little addition. I did these little red heart sparklets, which I thought were adorable. Very easy, very quick, hard to do. Just, you know, each time running each piece through the die cutting machine, gluing them together, a little foam tape. So I would run to pick up this bundle. It's a great bundle. As you can see, super versatile. The money saver is a great deal, so check that out. And tell me what you think in the feedback. Thank you very much for joining us today.